Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. According to relevant historical records, Dai Li, originally named Dai Chunfeng and styled Yunong, was born in Baoan Township, Jiangshan County, Zhuzhou City, Zhejiang Province. As a lieutenant general of the National Revolutionary Army of the Republic of China, Dai Li also served as the deputy director and de facto leader of the Military Affairs Commission and the Bureau of Investigation and Statistics of the national government. Dai Li's father, Dai Shifu, was a patrol officer in Zhuzhou, and passed away when Dai Li was only 4 years old. His mother, Lan Yueshi, came from a noble Lan family in Jiangshan County, Zhejiang, and raised Dai Li on her own. In his early years, Dai Li studied at the 6th class of the Whampoa Military Academy. And after graduating, he served as a soldier in the Zhejiang army under the command of Zhou Fengqi. However, he soon left the military, moved to Shanghai, and met important figures such as Chiang Kai-shek and Dai Jitao at the Shanghai Stock Exchange. With his exceptional talents, Dai Li gained Chiang Kai-shek's high trust, and was tasked with organizing and leading various secret operations and espionage activities. Dai Li's authority and capabilities earned him the title of Chiang Kai-shek's Sword, and he was even regarded as China's most mysterious figure. His outstanding performance in the field of espionage also led to him being dubbed the King of Spies and the Emperor of Spies. Moreover, when establishing the Military Intelligence Bureau, Dai Li not only inherited China's traditional values of loyalty and righteousness, but also drew inspiration from Sun Yat-sen's revolutionary ideals. He understood the importance of nurturing talent for the bureau. So no matter how busy he was, he personally served as the head of every training class, just like Chiang Kai-shek at the Whampoa Military Academy, leading and guiding them personally. Dai Li often reminded his subordinates that the history of the Military Intelligence Bureau was written by the blood, sweat, and tears of countless comrades. What mattered was not seeking personal safety, but being willing to sacrifice one's life for the cause when the time came. He likened the Military Intelligence Bureau to a large family, emphasizing the use of traditional ethics and virtues to unite the agents. For those agents who sacrificed their lives during missions, Dai Li would personally pay their families generous funeral expenses and take care of their orphans and widows. He hoped the bureau would become a unit with compassion, reflecting the spirit of repaying virtue with virtue. In the bureau's training, recruits were required not only to master skills such as shooting, demolition, poisoning, and telecommunications, but also to learn ideologies like the 3 principles of the people. These training and ideological education programs ran parallel, aiming to shape agents with both professionalism and a firm revolutionary stance. During the War of Resistance against Japan, Dai Li required wartime agents to remain unmarried, often using the phrase, "The Xiongnu are not yet exterminated, how can we think of family," to emphasize that agents must be fully devoted to the revolutionary cause, without any distractions. Such strict discipline ensured that agents of the Bureau could focus entirely on their tasks, unimpeded by personal matters. On March 17, 1946, under a light spring rain in Nanjing, Dai Li's special plane crashed at the foot of Daishan Mountain in the western suburbs, killing everyone aboard. The location was so remote that it took the Bureau's staff and other searchers 3 days to locate the wreckage of the plane. When they found it, the bodies were unrecognizable, and Dai Li's remains were so badly burned that they could barely be identified. The only things that confirmed his identity were 6 gold teeth and some pieces of clothing. Dai Li's sudden death shocked society, and there have been many speculations about the cause of the plane crash. Was it an accident or assassination? To this day, there is no definitive answer. A saying that has spread among the people is, Dai's plane crashed into Daishan, Yunong died in the rain. meaning Dai Li's plane crashed into Daishan. And he died in the heavy rain. Daishan, also known as Dai Mountain or Kunyu Gully, is the location where Dai Li passed away. Due to this coincidental place name, some have even speculated that Dai Li's death was destiny's will, as if it were closely tied to both his name and the location's name. After Dai Li's death, Chiang Kai-shek almost immediately decided to hold a grand funeral for him and build an extravagant tomb. According to Chiang Kai-shek's arrangement, the staff from the Military Intelligence Bureau first reconstructed Dai Li's body and placed a mask over his face. The coffin was then placed in the Zhigong Hall at Linggu Temple in Nanjing, where the memorial service was also held. The materials used for Dai Li's tomb were of the same high-quality granite from Suzhou, the same as those used for Sun Yat-sen's mausoleum. The construction was overseen by Shen Zui. The entire cemetery covered an area of about 1,500 square meters. The tomb was rectangular in shape, surrounded by granite inlays. A granite tombstone stood in front of the grave, inscribed with the words, "The Tomb of General Dai Li," written by KMT elder Wu Zhiwei. The cemetery was extremely luxurious, with a stone table in front of the tomb for offerings, stone benches on both sides, and a cement path leading up to the grave, surrounded by trees. Today, this cemetery has been destroyed. At Dai Li's funeral, friends and family silently bid him farewell in a somber and sorrowful atmosphere. Many friends brought wreaths, and everyone had complex emotions in their hearts. Dai Li's life was filled with both achievements and regrets, making it difficult to describe with simple words. Although he had once been a powerful figure, his final departure seemed so helpless, evoking a sense of melancholy. For example, Zhang Shizhao wrote in his condolence couplet, "Born for the country, died for the country, with the spirit of chivalry throughout life, accomplishments and faults still undetermined at the end, praised by the world, criticized by the world, acting with the seasons in chaotic times." Chiang Kai-shek's couplet was, "A towering talent above all, your deeds clear the land, an unexpected calamity, the winds and clouds change, deeply lamenting in my heart." This couplet expressed Chiang Kai-shek's deep sorrow over the sudden death of Dai Li. According to historical records, Shen Zui, a lieutenant general in the Nationalist Army, had worked for the nationalist government's Military Commission's Investigation and Statistics Bureau and was deeply trusted by Dai Li. Shen Zui was not only skilled in martial arts but had a peculiar habit: he always carried a cane, even though his legs were perfectly fine. The cane was actually his weapon for self-defense, and it was rumored that he could easily fend off 7 or 8 attackers with it. Shen Zui also had a unique way of cracking walnuts. He never used a hammer and, even at the age of 70, could still crush them with his hands. On March 17, 1946, Dai Li tragically died in a plane crash over Nanjing. However, when the Military Intelligence Bureau had not yet received confirmation of his death, Chiang Kai-shek mistakenly believed that Dai Li's plane had crashed in an enemy-controlled area. Therefore, he ordered Mao Renfeng to send a high-ranking officer with medical personnel to rescue him. However, none of the generals at the Chongqing Military Intelligence Bureau were willing to take the risk, except for Shen Zui. Grateful for Dai Li's trust, Shen Zui immediately volunteered to search for him. Soon, after receiving confirmation of Dai Li's death, the rescue mission was cancelled. Later, Shen Zui described Dai Li's tomb in his memoir My 30 Years. He mentioned that the tomb had been personally chosen by Chiang Kai-shek and designed and built by Shen Zui himself. At that time, Mao Renfeng was very worried that someone might attempt to open Dai Li's coffin. So he asked Shen Zui to make sure the tomb was especially solid. Shen Zui specifically requested that cement and charcoal be mixed and poured into the grave to firmly bond the coffin with the tomb, making it difficult to open. According to some media reports, in the spring of 1951, 7 farmers went to excavate Dai Li's tomb. Initially, the tomb was incredibly solid and could not be opened at all. Eventually, they had to use shovels to peel away the granite seams piece by piece. After a week of effort, they finally managed to open the tomb chamber. When they opened the coffin, they discovered charred bones, a revolver, a Jiulong sword, and 2 shoe heels. The Jiulong sword had been given to Dai Li by son Dianying, who had presented it to him during a time when he was being pursued for grave robbing. As for Dai Li's body, it was never found again and became a mystery. According to historical records, Dai Li's former residence was located on the west side of the central section of Baoshan Township, Xianxia Ridge, Jiangshan City, Zhejiang Province. It was built in 1943 and designed by Dai Li himself, with his younger brother, Dai Chunbang, responsible for the construction. The main building covered an area of about 300 square meters and had a total construction area of 1,000 square meters. It was a typical 3-story wooden structure with powder-colored walls and gray tiles. The interior structure of the house was unique. There were 2 staircases in the building. One was a visible staircase, located in the front, and the other was a hidden spiral staircase in the back, which was narrow enough that only one person could pass through sideways. This hidden staircase was usually concealed by curtains or a wardrobe. The first floor also had some smaller secret rooms, as well as side rooms and storage areas. The second floor served as Dai Li's exhibition hall, displaying his family background and pictures of some important figures. The third floor contained 7 bedrooms, with a reception room and study in the middle, and the surrounding rooms were bedrooms. The study had 6 doors, while the reception room had 5. Every room had at least 2 doors and 3 windows, ensuring good ventilation and lighting, making the design particularly meticulous. This is the History and Culture channel. Liking and subscribing are the greatest help and support to us. Thank you everyone and see you in the next time.